Welcome to this explainer. You know, we've literally all been there. You're staring at a faded, stamped receipt sitting right next to a completely dead appliance. It is universally frustrating. Today, we're diving straight into exactly what happens when a high-value product miraculously breaks the very second its written warranty expires. It really begs the question we've all asked ourselves at least once, right? Does a 12-month warranty actually expire in exactly 12 months? Well, the legal answer is absolutely fascinating, and I promise you, it's going to completely change how you view your next big purchase. So here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the fine print myth. Then, visible limits versus invisible rights. After that, how reality actually beats the disclaimer. We'll cover your non-waivable rights. And finally, wrap up with strategic corporate applications. Let's get to it. Okay, Section 1, the fine print myth. Basically what businesses write versus what the law actually enforces. There is a massive, and I mean massive, gap between the intimidating legalese you see on a box and actual reality. A warranty disclaimer, that's really just a business-imposed limit. Companies write these to box in their liability and protect their bottom line, usually hoping you'll just, accept defeat. But then there's the implied warranty. This is legally enforced. It happens entirely automatically, right behind the scenes, to guarantee you aren't buying a lemon. So businesses write disclaimers to protect themselves, sure, but the law enforces implied warranties to ensure a baseline of fairness. Moving on to Section 2, visible limits, invisible rights, the unshakable shield. So what exactly is a statutory warranty? Think of it like an invisible shield. It's an implied guarantee that attaches automatically to every single sale. It ensures acceptable quality and fitness for purpose, totally regardless of whatever the written terms say. This invisible shield gives you robust legal coverage without requiring even a single moment of negotiation. Even if the contract is completely silent on the matter, these protections are yours by default. Pretty cool, right? Naturally, businesses are going to try to limit these implied warranties. We've all seen the bold, capitalized phrases screaming, "No further warranties apply," in that tiny size 4 font where you basically need a magnifying glass to read it. But here's the kicker. Courts stringently examine this wording. Disclaimers absolutely must pass strict legal tests for clear, highly visible language. And if it fails the test, the disclaimer becomes completely invalid. Poor drafting doesn't just look bad, it actively exposes companies to real liability. Section 3, reality beats the disclaimer, the 18-month fridge failure. Let's look at how this plays out in the real world. Imagine you buy a premium fridge and a standard 12-month written warranty begins. Exactly 12 months later, that warranty expires. The business proudly claims they're completely off the hook. But at 18 months, your fancy fridge completely dies under normal use. The store says, "Hey, you're out of luck." Well, enter the statutory guarantee. A high-value appliance failing at 18 months actually breaches the legal expectation that a premium product should last for several years. Because of this, that 12-month limit is legally irrelevant, and you are fully entitled to a repair or replacement. Now for Section 4, your non-waivable rights. Why no warranty doesn't always mean no warranty. Here is the golden rule, folks. Even if a receipt blatantly states no warranty, the law still applies. Consumer laws in a lot of jurisdictions completely prohibit excluding these statutory warranties. A business cannot just wave a magic wand, stamp "sold as is" on a box, and magically absolve themselves of selling a product that actually works. It just doesn't fly. And your statutory rights, they do not suddenly evaporate into thin air the day your written coverage ends. They are separate entities entirely. Your legal protection endures based on the product's expected lifespan, not some arbitrary marketing timeframe the company came up with. Finally, Section 5, strategic corporate applications, shifting from consumer rights to business compliance. For the business professionals watching, there's a bit of a harsh reality check here. The standard corporate strategy is to limit duration and define boundaries. But the legal reality? Courts will actively scrutinize every single word. Non-compliant clauses are routinely invalidated. These insights prove that relying on generic, poorly drafted fine print gives a completely false sense of security and actively exposes your company to greater risk. To distill this all down, warranty disclaimers only define business-imposed limits, while implied warranties establish true legal protections. Because statutory warranties often cannot be excluded at all, any disclaimer you write must meet strict legal clarity requirements. Honestly, these insights form the absolute foundation of highly effective, legally sound policy drafting. So, how do we make this actionable? Well, law firms can use this framework for better client advisory. Corporations absolutely must refine their contract language to align with legal reality. Educational institutions should integrate these principles so the next generation really understands the limits of fine print. And governments, they can apply this data to strengthen consumer protection frameworks globally. If you take away just one thing today, let it be this. The law prioritizes fundamental fairness over fine print. Whether you're an everyday consumer buying an appliance or a corporate lawyer drafting compliance policy, businesses simply cannot escape statutory obligations. Those invisible legal standards, they're always watching. I'll leave you with this provocative thought. If your disclaimer fails the legal test, who is really paying the price? Is it the consumer? Or is it the corporation left holding an invalidated contract? Consider that very carefully the next time you write or sign a piece of fine print. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning and keep asking the right questions.